Hey, this is meteorologist Chris Smith here in the Panhandle Weather Studios here on this, let's see, Friday evening. I hope you had a wonderful Friday. Meteorologist Dan Nyman not here. He's helping this guy right now. Meteorologist Mike Collier, who's in Tulsa, where they have a tornado, a very dangerous tornado on the ground moving toward downtown Tulsa out there in Oklahoma. So Dan's helping him with his severe weather coverage this evening, but you can follow along the Mike Collier weather app right there. I have it pulled up there, and you can see there's Mike, storm chasers, and right there is Tulsa, and right there is a tornado that's moving in toward the downtown Tulsa area here just a few minutes after 6 o'clock. So a dangerous situation out there in Oklahoma this evening, but we appreciate Dan helping out Mike this evening across that area. So, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what's happening weather-wise across Northwest Florida as we talk about our weather here at home across our area. We saw some storms. It looked like summertime across Northwest Florida. You could see that looking. This is from Jim Lozica. If you remember Jim worked with me at the TV station for about 4 years or so. He was the morning weather guy. Well, he lives down here now. He's a realtor. So if you need some help with real estate, Jim's your guy. But yeah, he was out on the golf course, so not working too hard with the real estate. You can see, look at that. That just looks like summertime. And we had some pretty good thunderstorms that developed up into Washington County, but in particular Holmes County. And you can see this is from Bayou George there. And that was kind of the southern extent of where the rainfall was Bayou George, then up through Washington County, and then up into Holmes County. This is from Charles Day in Argyle looking towards Ponce de Leon, so a little different perspective. Neighbor of mine, Emily Steiner, she was out on 30A, and you can see this thunderstorm. It's that same one visible off into the distance. So it was like one of those things, you look south towards the Gulf, it was nice and sunny and beautiful. You turned to the north and you saw those big thunderheads, certainly reminding you of summertime here into Northwest Florida. Our friend Austin Allen capturing it. Ooh, look at that little cap on the cloud. Miss Melissa, job well done there on the thunderstorm, capturing the little bit of a wave cloud there on top of the thunderstorm. The Upers on Panama City Beach looking northward from their condo. And then, as I mentioned, you look down towards the Gulf, and it was a picture-perfect beach day here across the Panhandle. And a pretty nice sunset this evening. Thank you very much to everyone for submitting your pictures in the Panhandle Weather app. We always appreciate it. Helps tell our weather story every evening. Now, let's talk a little bit about what's going on right now as we look at live Doppler radar. Live Doppler radar shows it's pretty quiet right now. We do have a dense fog advisory basically to the west of 231 from 231 westward over into Pensacola. We're already seeing that fog develop this evening. You can see the thunderstorm activity that we had earlier today. We had a brief thunderstorm warning. Of course, we cut in. We were the only folks to cut in and let you know what was going on up there near Esto. Had some pea-sized hail, nothing that ended up being severe, but still, you can see these thunderstorms that ended up pulsing up today. There were some into Jackson County, but the primary threat ended up over into, say, the western half or eastern half of Holmes County, and then stretching down through parts of Washington County and even a little bit of Bay County. As I mentioned, Bayou George, Deer Point Lake area was kind of the southern extent. But in pockets, there was some good rainfall to be had, upwards of almost an inch of rainfall in some of those green areas. But obviously, plenty of folks saw very little to no rainfall this evening. Dense fog now beginning to develop this evening over into Destin and on along maybe parts of 98 and 30A into South Walton. Panama City Beach, it's quiet. You can definitely see that moisture lurking out there into the Gulf, but no fog there. Meanwhile, my friends in Destin, you can barely make out the Marlar Bridge. Look at it right there. Barely any headlights even visible. So dense fog is located over into Destin. That's also the case over at the Ocean Reef Resort. And you see just on the screen there, dense fog advisory popping up on the screen. But you can see visibility. You can't even make out the Gulf. You can see someone's having a bonfire this evening, 68 degrees. Seaside, sunshine visible. You can definitely see the moisture lurking, but no fog to be reported yet over there in South Walton. And from our camera at Ascension Sacred Heart, the daylight fading away there and no signs of that fog, at least not yet. Meanwhile, my friends in Marianna this evening, there's the daylight fading away. 77 degrees is still your temperature. Winds are out of the south to southeast at 4 miles an hour. So as we talk about it, live Doppler radar continuing to remain quiet as the showers move away. You can see the activity that we saw earlier back over in a little bit of rain into Holmes County, but everything's all quiet right now across that neck of the woods. So it's nothing really to worry too much about there. For my friends over there into Jackson County. Now, our high temperatures today did climb up into the 70s and 80s, 70s at the coast, 80s inland. Temperatures right now, 60s and 70s across our region. And as we look through the overnight hours, we'll see our winds continue to die down. They're pretty light right now. They'll stay that way. The winds will begin to pick up, though, as we head into Saturday once again out of the east and southeast. So we expect the weather tomorrow to be very similar to what we saw today across our region, 10 to 15 miles an hour. There could be a few inland showers and thunderstorms on your Saturday, but again, most of us will be on the dry side. So low temperatures tonight, 60s for most of us. We'll see in particular over towards Jay and Navarre, 63, 64, 65. You notice the temperature difference between coast and inland during the overnight hours isn't very high. We're seeing very minimal temperature differences, 61, 62, 63 degrees. That continues up through I-10, Holmes County, Jackson County, Washington County, and on over into Walton County. So let's talk about that Saturday forecast. Pretty quiet, but we are watching this out to the west. We have a front. Showers and thunderstorms, and these showers and storms could impact the western panhandle as we head into parts of Sunday. We'll talk more about that part of your forecast coming up with more Panhandle Weather Live at 6 o'clock here in just a few moments.
Might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Find something you love with great deals this month at Panama City Toyota. Get 1.99% APR on a new Camry, rated Best Midsize Car by Kelley Blue Book. Plus, 90 days until you make your first payment. Get 2.49% APR on the Rocket Tacoma, plus 90 days until your first payment. And get 2.49% APR on the powerful Tundra, plus 90 days until your first payment. Come check out our showroom or browse online at Panama City Toyota.
Your piece of land demands the very best equipment. Kubota Equipment, the #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. with professional-grade mowers, versatile sidekick utility vehicles, and compact tractors that get it done right, all backed by unmatched dealer support. Talk to your dealer today to schedule a demo.
When it comes to building, local experience matters. At Mid-South Lumber, our team knows the job, and we'll help you get it right the first time. From weekend DIY projects to full custom builds, you'll get solid materials, fair prices, and service you won't find at a big box store. That's why we're the biggest little lumber yard in Panama City. Mid-South Lumber. Shop local. Build with confidence. Let's quote your next project today.
Now, from your trusted team of meteorologists at Panhandle Weather, this is your evening forecast update.
And good evening. Meteorologist Chris Smith here in the Panhandle Weather Studios. Meteorologist Dan Nyman helping out our friend Mike Collier. He's driving things from Panama City for the coverage that you're watching right now in Tulsa, which is of a tornado on the ground moving towards downtown Tulsa. Very active weather out there into the Plain States. It's been very active over the past few days, but they are getting certainly a big round of severe weather this evening out there into Oklahoma. And our own meteorologist, Dan Nyman, is, believe it or not, directing this show right now from Panama City for helping out Mike there out in Oklahoma. So we appreciate Dan for helping him, and prayers for Mike and everyone out there in Oklahoma this evening. Now, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what we have going on weather-wise here this evening. As we move through, we're 2 days away, believe it or not, from springing forward to just 2 days. Sunrise on Sunday will jump to 7:01 from nearly 6 o'clock. Sunset from about 5:45 will jump to 6:47. So, you know, we don't get an extra hour of daylight. It just shifts the daylight, but it is nice to have that later sunset. But sunrise on Monday morning when the kids go back to school will be 7 o'clock. So it's going to be pretty dark. So keep that in mind, that there will be kids at the bus stop when it's pitch black outside. So our forecast for this evening, we'll see temperatures dropping from the 60s. We'll see that fog begin to settle in across our area as we head through the overnight hours tonight. Southeasterly winds continue to blow across our area. The moisture streaming in from the Gulf. You notice our winds really begin to pick up as we head through your Saturday morning and on into the afternoon hours. The winds die down Saturday night. I think we will see a little bit of fog again Saturday night into Sunday morning, although maybe not quite as much, because we are going to have some showers and thunderstorms to the west approaching, and that could throw some clouds across our area and maybe prevent the development of as much fog across our area on Sunday morning. Sunday afternoon, the winds begin to pick up once again. So as we talked about a little while ago, dense fog settling in over into Destin, Harbor Walk Village, all decked out for St. Patrick's Day. But as you look out towards the Martha Bridge, you can barely make out any headlights there this evening. Meanwhile, as we look out over into Baytown Wharf, similar story there. You can see some lights off into the distance. It was socked in with a little more fog a little while ago. Visibility has improved at least a little bit there. Over into Seaside, we had this evening, you can still see a little bit of that daylight sneaking on through there this evening. They have bonfire out there on the beach, but you can still see that fog is lurking not too far offshore. So Destin has fog, Seaside does not, Panama City Beach does not, but eventually that fog will begin to move in along the coastline as we head through tonight. We are fog-free downtown Panama City right now. The bulk of the fog is through Walton, but mainly into Okaloosa County, right along the coastline. But we'll gradually see that begin to spread inland as we head through the overnight hours tonight into your Saturday morning, so keep that in mind. Now, our fog model says the bulk of that fog is to the west of 231, and we see less fog off to the east of 231. So that's something to watch. That doesn't mean that Bluntstown or Tallahassee or Sopchop, you won't see any fog. But it may not be as prevalent. Sunday morning, our fog model does develop more fog across our area. So again, keep that in mind. I think part of this might depend upon the approach of those clouds and some showers as to how much of that fog we end up seeing. So stay tuned. We'll update the forecast, obviously, tomorrow with that fog potential. So your forecast for tonight, we'll see temperatures dropping down into the 60s. We'll see high temperatures for your Saturday climbing up into the 70s and 80s. Another toasty day. We'll see 82 in Jay, but notice the difference when you compare water and inland temperatures. Will be a good 10-degree difference across our areas. Those temperatures going to be a big difference there as we move along the coastline. 70s at the coast and then 80s inland. Indian Pass 71, 82 in Sumatra. Up into the I-10 corridor, you'll be looking at 80s, and that extends over into Holmes, Jackson, Washington, and Walton counties with about 82, 83, 84 degrees. Low temperatures for tonight will drop into the 60s, Saturday night into Sunday will stay mainly into the 60s, and highs on Sunday, 70s and 80s. But the one thing to keep in mind, it may be cooler across the western panhandle because of clouds and the potential for some showers that you may see on Sunday late morning into the afternoon. For now, we have this big ridge of high pressure baking a good chunk of the country, but there's a period of excessive heat where we're talking about record high temperatures, 20 to 30 degrees above average from the Midwest into parts of the Mid-South today. Tomorrow, that extends over into the Appalachian Mountains. Obviously, we are above average, but we're not necessarily talking about above average precipitation. Now on Saturday are above average temperatures. On Saturday, that ridge continues to build to the east, so we're going to stay high and dry across our region. Severe weather, as we talked about, there we are, Tulsa, stretching up through Joplin, Kansas City will be under the gun for severe weather. That could extend all the way up into the Great Lakes, up into places like Chicago tonight. Now tomorrow, that risk still out there, not quite as strong, but it goes all the way from nearly Buffalo all the way down into Mexico. So an extended period there. But look, as this front moves east, it will begin to weaken. But it may get close enough to us to bring us a chance of some clouds and showers as we head into Sunday, at least for the western part of the Panhandle. So flooding potential out to the west tonight. Flooding potential from the Ohio River Valley into Texas as we head into Saturday. And then Sunday, you can see that threat again from, say, Alabama, almost into the western Panhandle, but mainly into Mississippi, Louisiana, and on over into Texas. So we'll see again this big swath of heavy rainfall expected through at least Sunday out to our west. Our rainfall chances as a whole aren't very high. Now this is on average. I would say Pensacola's rain chances Sunday are going to be up a little bit higher than, say, over into Apalachicola, but when you kind of split the difference there, you end up at about 20%. So let's watch this and let me try and do a better job of explaining what's going to be happening as we head into Friday night and Saturday. There's your front right there. There's the showers and thunderstorms Friday, Saturday. Here we go into Sunday morning. Look at this. Sunday morning, showers, thunderstorms north of Fairhope over towards Mobile. Watch what happens as we put this into motion. The showers spread to the east. Now, this is Sunday afternoon. Notice we have more clouds and some showers towards Pensacola, Fairhope, and Mobile. Heading into the afternoon, there you see some showers continue to spread east, but obviously much, much weaker. The heavier stuff back to the west, and then watch Sunday evening, it just kind of fizzles out. So there is a chance of rain on Sunday. There will be more clouds on Sunday, but other than the western Panhandle, I don't think it's going to be much of a washout. And I certainly won't get excited over the amount of rainfall that we're going to see. Now, when you look at this map, most of this is this weekend. But for us, when you look at this map and you see that green, most of this, I think, comes next Friday, Thursday, Friday, with an area of low pressure. And I'll get to that in a minute. But a ½ inch to an inch of rainfall. I think some of that rainfall here for Pensacola comes in on Sunday, and then you add in what we get next week. That's why they have the higher rainfall totals, because most of that rainfall won't find its way to Panama City or Tallahassee this weekend. Fog this weekend during the morning hours, high temperatures into the 80s. This is your trough of low pressure. Notice the low gets kind of cut off, and as it moves finally to the east next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then it sweeps through on Thursday into Friday. That will bring in some cooler air, but that's your best chance of rainfall, some showers and thunderstorms on Thursday. So fingers crossed for that, but that's still a ways away. 70s and 80s for the next 7 days. Notice it does cool off as we head into next Friday on the backside of this storm system, but not significant. We may still even be above average. Frank Brown Park, a Scottish festival, weather Saturday looks great. Farmers Market Saturday in Panama City looks great. Chili cook-off, St. George Island looks great on Saturday. Boat show on Saturday looks great. Sunday, we will see more cloud cover for the boat show, and I can't rule out maybe some showers before the end of the boat show, but I think anything we would see would be very, very light. Rosemary Beach Farmers Market, notice it's picking up on that extra cloud cover as we head into your through the morning hours. Temperature outlook, above average temperatures across the southern part of the country for the middle part of the month. That includes back here into northwest Florida. Precipitation, we have some hope because of next Friday of seeing maybe a slightly better chance of above average precipitation, so we'll watch that. And then after that, it begins to dry things out again, but stays on the warm side. Here's that 7-day forecast across northwest Florida. High temperatures are going to be into the 70s over the next 7 days at the coastline. Best chance of rainfall Thursday into Friday. Inland areas will see temperatures into the 80s. It does cool off next Friday on the backside of that front, so we will continue to watch that. Again, the main story will be warm weather across northwest Florida as we make our way on over the next 7 days. So that's a look at your forecast. Dan's still helping Mike in Tulsa. You can see tornado warning cell up there in Tulsa this evening. Just some nasty weather there. Let me throw up that 7-day forecast, and I'm actually going to real quickly. I'm going to have to run here pretty quickly because I have Charlie's flag football team championship. So I want to go to that, but I did want to point this out. You see the tornado watch. Look at the lightning. Let's turn that off. It's a little too much. And so that's what Dan is working with tonight out there in Oklahoma. So one tornado warning cell. This one is flashing, so this means it's an observed tornado, and you can see the hook on that. So right there is your tornado warning cell. That's the hook, and it's flashing because it's an observed tornado. This is a tornado warning passing just west and north of Tulsa, and then you can see down here, there's another tornado warning cell, actually two tornado warning cells down there just east of Oklahoma City. And you see there's a severe thunderstorm up near Joplin, Missouri. So again, severe weather up here. So active weather tonight out across the Plains states. And we appreciate meteorologist Dan Nyman helping out our friend Mike Collier, who is covering the severe weather out there in the Tulsa area. So that's why Dan wasn't here with us this evening. So Tressa, one day it'll start raining and maybe we'll think it's ever going to stop. Yeah, that's usually the way it goes. Weather is nothing more than the average of extremes or climate, excuse me. So it's usually too wet or too dry, and that's how you end up with average. Very rarely is it ever average. Tammy, good evening. Bow tie life, yes, it was a beautiful thunderstorm looking from the beach. Good evening. Jessica, good evening. Carla from Bluntstown, we appreciate you. Gert, fog is good for the foliage, and we'll see that fog tonight settle in across northwest Florida. But I'm going to head on out and go to Charlie's flag football game. I appreciate you. I appreciate your support of Panhandle Weather. I want y'all to have a wonderful weekend. I have a whole bunch of updates I just dropped on the channel, so we're all set there. But y'all have a wonderful evening, a great weekend. I don't think we'll have to do any live shows this weekend, but if we do, it's okay. Like my bedroom, my living room, my pool are like right there. So it's nothing for me to hop on here and talk about it. We were the only ones today talking about the severe thunderstorm near Esto because that's what we do at Panhandle Weather. But again, we appreciate y'all. Y'all have a wonderful evening, a great weekend, and we will see you, if not earlier, on Monday.
That's the sound of your life. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Buzz driving is drunk driving.